Hi everyone, welcome to today's webcast, PowerApps Sales Forecast Submission. Basically, it's about building your own app for your business to structure how you gather information, and we're going to use sales as the example for that. Let me introduce myself first. So obviously my name's Robbie Shaw. I'm a data analytics consultant with Thorogood. I'm based in Singapore. I was based in our London office before that, and I've plenty of experience with PowerApps, working for large enterprises, insurance, consumer goods, pharmaceuticals mainly. And my contact details are up there. My LinkedIn's up there as well. Connect, email, feedback to me if you have any questions about the event or the content that I run today as well. So how's the next 30 minutes or so going to go? I'm going to really quickly introduce Thorogood. So hopefully that's a nice refresher for people who've attended our events before, or a nice intro to Thorogood for people who are first attending one of our events. Then I'm going to give an overview of PowerApps. Then I'm going to get into the real meat of the webcast with the actual demo around the sales submission. And then I'm going to round off with how you can get started with PowerApps, following on from what you've seen with the demo and with the general overview as well. So first of all, Thorogood, who we are. So we're data engineering, data science, and data visualization specialists. And really what we do is we marry up the three things that you see on the left there: analytics, technology, and business focus. So everything we do is with a business focus. Yes, we have great understanding of analytics. Yes, we keep tabs and keep track of the latest cutting edge technology, and we partner with the leading technology firms of the world. What we want to do is bring those two together to help answer a business problem. We won't be working on something just for the sake of analytics and technology. We want it to have a positive business outcome, and everything we do, we try to really understand your business problems, because that will in the end lead to a better solution that we build. And as you can see on the right there, we operate globally. So like I said, I'm based in Singapore, was in London before. We've offices in the Americas and in Bangalore as well. Most of what we do is sort of end-to-end full application design and development using data engineering, data science, and data visualization. But that's not all we do. We do different types of projects related. So sort of data strategies and roadmaps, user empowerment, skilling up your own internal team on data technology tools, and many other types of projects as well. You can see listed there. And like I mentioned, those three analytics, technology, business focus. How do we stay on top of the latest technology? We work with the latest technology constantly, and in most cases, we partner with the technology. So we're partnered with the big three cloud firms: AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud, as well as with Databricks as well, which is one of the leading cloud tools for data engineering and data science. We also work on data visualization tools like Tableau, Power BI. Also, PowerApps comes under the Microsoft umbrella alongside Power BI. And we also do work with planning business modeling tools in Anaplan and IBM. So enough about Thorogood. What about PowerApps itself? I think what PowerApps offers really can be summed up in what this short sentence here: build low-code applications. So here you can see we've got Microsoft description of what PowerApps is and what it does. You can see a screenshot there of how it looks when you sort of open a blank app in PowerApps. But really, it's about what you have is the idea of building an app. So how to build an app, develop it, the complexities around all the considerations around building an actual app. And then you've got someone who really understands the business here, but has no development experience, doesn't know how to code. And PowerApps is really about narrowing the gap between these two sides, or even actually bridging the gap. So you can see there in the second paragraph, Microsoft say PowerApps democratizes the business app building experience. And it really does do that. You can build apps really simply by using drag and drop and click, and you're seeing the app sort of be built in front of you on the canvas. And it's all within PowerApps. It's all within the Power Platform. So there's a lot of native data connectors, and there's a data platform ready for you to use as well. Basically, it's set up to make building apps as easy as possible. And PowerApps does come within the Power Platform. And the Power Platform generally is about letting people build with no code or low code. So you've got Power BI for business analytics and dashboard building, PowerApps we've discussed, Power Automate for process automation, creating workflows, getting rid of sort of manual, mundane tasks that require no creative thinking. And Power Virtual Agents is about building your own chatbot, again, without low or no code. And the benefits of the Power Platform It syncs in really well with Microsoft products, so Office 365, Dynamics 365, if you use that as your CRM system, and Azure. But in saying that, yes, it syncs up really well with Microsoft, but it's going to work really well outside Microsoft's realm too. So if you're not a Microsoft-centric company, if you don't have O365 products, it's still going to work if you're using, say, like Google Workspace, or if you're storing all your data on AWS Cloud Platform. The Power Platform will still work on top of that. There are connections available for that. So hopefully those past couple of slides have given you an abstract view of what PowerApps is, but really what can it do? And hopefully we'll sort of get across a more applied use using this demo. So this demo is about sales forecast submission, yes, but also adjustment. So the idea is Thorogood is now a paper sales company. And we're using PowerApps within a Power BI dashboard to try and make the sales forecast submission and adjustment process as easy as possible. So you can see this diagram here is me trying to explain the flow as simply and clearly as possible. But what I want to focus on first is the sales director on the right here. So the sales director is in a situation, he's the sales director of a paper company, and they want forecasts from each of their sales reps. And they want them because they need to submit sort of aggregate views or aggregate numbers to production, supply chain, the CEO, the CFO, if they ask for it, because obviously the supply side needs to meet the expected demand. So the sales director does do this. They've found for the past 2 years it's been a really complicated process, because each quarter they're asking for the next 6 months of predictions, and sales reps are sharing like a range of numbers rather than specific numbers. And they're saying, okay, well, if I'm going to sell 5 pallets of paper in November, if this company doesn't merge, but if it does merge with a different company, then I'm going to sell 10. And all of this is making it really complicated for the sales director to sort of sum up into one number that he can submit to other people in the organization. Another rep might have tried creating a shared Excel. People are, struggling with access. People are accidentally overriding each other's submissions. And realistically, they shouldn't be seeing each other's submissions anyway. Another rep is trying to submit their sales forecast in terms of reams of paper rather than in terms of pallets. That's adding to the complication. The sales director is thinking, okay, you want to sell 1,600 pallets, and having to go back and forth with the person who actually wants to sell 4 pallets rather than 1,600. What they mean is 1,600 reams of paper. Another rep's pinged him the number, but then that's just got lost amongst a whole, massive group chat on WhatsApp or something like that, and the sales director has to scroll. And basically, the idea is that the sales director is becoming increasingly annoyed because it's a really simple process that's getting overcomplicated because information is being submitted in different ways. So he's coming to me, I guess, or to a technology company to help him use PowerApps. They've seen PowerApps before, they think it can be useful, so they want to use PowerApps for this submission, which of course can be done. They also come with an extra problem, the sales director, in that they think the sales reps aren't putting enough thought into their sales forecasts. So they think they're just chunky numbers down. Some are too optimistic, some are too pessimistic. And really what the sales director wants is the sales rep to be making their sales forecast while also seeing, their previous actual sales for the last 12 months or in the last financial year, plus seeing those sales almost plotted against the target sales they've made before, so they can see, okay, am I generally over-promising on my sales forecast? Am I generally under-promising? Is there a current trend in which actual sales seem to be going up? Should I be predicting higher to try and warn supply side that I'm going to be asking for more paper to sell? All of this is a consideration that the sales director wants to create an application for. And basically then looking at the diagram, this is the solution. So the solution is to have a central data repository, in this case a SQL database, and it's going to contain actual sales and target sales. Then Power BI dashboards are going to connect to that SQL database, and they're going to bring in the data around historical targets and future targets as well. The sales reps are going to be able to view all of that. And then within the Power BI dashboard, there's going to be a Power App itself where they can actually edit some of their future forecasts and actually add new forecasts as well. That'll be written directly to SQL and will populate the Power BI again. And then the central data repository, the SQL database, will also feed a dashboard that the sales director is going to look at, where they can see an overall view of all sales rep submissions, all sales reps' historical actual sales, And then they have the ability to use PowerApps to make minor adjustments to the sales reps forecast as well, should they choose. But also the main role of the Power BI here, the Power BI dashboard here, is that the sales director can analyze it and then actually export the end result in terms of sum of overall sales for expected sales in next month, and be able to send that through to the CFO or to production management or anything like that. So hopefully that gives a good idea of the concept, or at least in some way explains the concept and the flow. Let me jump to the actual demo now. So here you can see we have PowerApps open. So make.powerapps.com. This is where we actually create the app itself that we're going to use in the process. So what you can see is it's a sales submission app. So you can see actually this is a case where someone's already submitted estimates for the next 6 months. So the month, the year, the target number of pallets, and then they have the ability to edit that as well. But what they can do is add a new target sales. So how any of these records got here, they hit plus. The plus took them to a new target screen, and then they enter the month. So the month number, the year, and then how much they forecast that they're going to sell in that year as well. And basically what we do is we have it sitting in the Power BI dashboard as an actual visual. So I'm signed in as a sales rep on the sales rep dashboard. My name's Robbie Shaw, the sales rep. I'm working for Thorogood, the paper company. It's able to tell that it's the afternoon, so it's saying, good afternoon, Robbie Shaw. The year I've got is 2022, but I can filter to different years as well. I only manage myself. Essentially, there's no one below me, so I can only see my own sales forecast. I can't see that of my peers, and I monitor them. I sell in the North region. And I've got a key KPI here that on average I sell 8.83 pallets per month. And what you can see here is we're looking at 2022. We've got my actual sales and my target sales. And here we have the idea is that today is the 1st of July, and we're submitting forecast for the next 6 months. So our last submission was the 1st of April at the turn of the quarter, where we submitted 6 months of forecast. So now I have the ability to edit those final 3 months of that original 6-month forecast from April, but also I need to add 3 new months for October, November, and December as well. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to review, past performance a bit better. So you can see here I've got my actual sales and target sales. Here I've actually got the ratio in terms of what I predicted versus what happened each month. So here I've got target sales of 6 and I've got actual sales of 15. That was 150% difference from my target sales, which is actually really problematic because yes, we sold way more and it was better and it was increased revenue. It's definitely better that way than the other way around, but it caused a massive supply side problem for our production team and our supply chain team. So they didn't have the right raw materials, they didn't have the inventory in stock, they hadn't hired the amount of manpower workforce to complete this sales forecast. So that's why it's marked in red, because it's really difficult. Whereas anything between 25% plus or minus is in green, 38% is in blue, but that's because it's between 25 and 100. So basically this is a good forecast, this is an okay forecast, and this is a problematic forecast. Even though we are actually selling more than I predicted. So we can see, I was looking back to maybe get an idea of trend, particularly for the final 3 months, 14.95. It seems like there's not much of a trend. There's not an uptick for Christmas or anything like that. But what we can see is that actually I was going into a bit of a slump, but actually that's rounded into a pretty significant increase. I've had my, joint fourth best ever month with 13 in actual sales. So I can probably have a reason to be a bit more optimistic. And actually, if you look at 2022, I've been consistently underestimating what I think I'm going to sell. So with that context, I'm going to actually adjust these forecasts. So I'm going to double each of them. So I'm going to change that to 6. I'm going to change that to 10. And I'm going to change this to 10 as well. Okay, and then additionally, what I'm going to do is submit forecast for October, November, and December. So October is 10, and let's predict October was a really good month for me last year. Maybe Halloween sells more paper. I don't know. And there we've submitted October. I'm also then going to, I remember last year it tailed off, so it was 1495 for October, November, December in 2021. I think it'll be the same, but not to the same extreme, because people are back in the office, people need more paper. We're coming out of COVID. I think I'm confident that I'll be able to hit 10 in November. Looks like that's already been submitted. I think that's just a caching error with the Power App in this case. So let me try that again. Yep, and there we go. It's submitted. And then by December, I think it's low. I don't know, people are at the end of their budgets. They're not buying more paper. They're saying people print it home or read it on your screen, whatever. Procurement aren't letting it go. So let's go December 2022, probably down to around 7. And there you can see that submitted. So now you can see I've adjusted my forecast for the next 3 months and I've submitted it for the 3 months after. So now I'm going to let my boss know. So I'll teams them or Slack them to let the sales director know that I've submitted mine. I was the final person they were waiting on. So here we're now in the sales director mode. We've just heard from Robbie Shaw that he's finally submitted his sales forecasts. So now I have everyone's sales forecasts in. I can look at the overall number. What I was doing before Robbie pinged me and told me that he'd completed his forecast was I was reviewing 2021, so the previous full year. And actually you can see in terms of the actuals, the target percentage difference, it was a pretty good year. We had nothing in the red. Maybe there was individual salespeople in the red, but they were balanced out by other salespeople. So on average, it worked out quite well. And I can see that and that's why the numbers are larger, here. So 50, 39, it's because we're adding up 4 different salespeople who are all working under the sales director, essentially. So if I unclick select all and click Robbie Shaw, there you see my 2021 numbers, which was the view I was seeing in the previous dashboard when I went to 2021. I could look at others as well. But at this point, I'm just interested in the overall view, and I'm interested in Robbie as well. Going back to 2022, here I can see our actual sales have been pretty good. Our targets are jumping around a fair bit, which is okay. But what I'm going to do is just check the ones that Robbie's just pinged me about that he's submitted. So here I can see, okay, just hit refresh on that because, yeah, there was the new ones that added and the adjustments that Robbie had made. And I can put my sales director hat on here and I go, okay, 610. Yeah, that looks good. He's been underestimating before. He's told me that he's increased them. 12, the cost of living crisis is going up. Maybe businesses are going to be trying to cut costs a bit more. I think this 12 is a little over the top. So what I'm just going to bring it down to 9 and offer that minor adjustment before I submit my overall numbers to the CFO, the CEO, and the production supply chain team. And I can do that just by exporting data, and I'll be able to get the full view of data in terms of how many pallets we're expecting to sell each month for the next 2 quarters to try and give the best foresight to our supply chain, our production team, to try and give them the best option. Hopefully it gave you an idea of one use case in Power BI, but really it's an information submission use case that can be used in so many places. So, a smattering of other examples. If you're on a factory floor, people don't have laptops, you don't want to use pen and paper and submit information that way. How about a Power App that's going to let people notify you of hazards? So that pipe's leaking, it's a slipping hazard, take a photo, submit it, send it as a work order to sort of maintenance or something like that. Then maintenance can come along, fix the leak, take a picture, mark the job as complete, and send that off back to some central server, and then you'll be able to see, which jobs have been done and then how have they been resolved. And then if the problem comes up again, can we look at the picture and see why it wasn't fully resolved? Also incident reporting. So, if someone does end up slipping and breaks their arm, you can then take photos of the incident itself. You can take photos of the person. You can tag people and send it off to sort of HR or health and safety or whoever else may be interested. Another example is like field sales, so submitting to your CRM report or submitting certain orders. So salespeople are out in the field, they don't have time to, phone up or text in or open an Excel and type something in. They just want an app and they go, here's a bit of information about a customer. The customer is expanding. We might need to supply them more of our goods in future. Send that straight off to central management or to CRM or something like that. Other cool use cases that I've heard of are like in a vineyard, each row of vines having a QR code attached and then being able to scan that QR code. That'll act as an identifier on the vine. And then you can take a photo, say once a week. And then actually all those photos get passed to some central storage database and you can create a time lapse and you can see how the vines have improved throughout the year with more rainfall or with extra fertilizer or anything like that. Being able to sort of monitor, get a better picture, a data-driven approach to growing anything really, in this case, vines. Then these are a couple examples below that we've actually created demos for. So submitting plan promotions on your products and brands. So if you manage 1,000+ products and at any time you're running hundreds of promotions in multiple different markets, what you want is an ability for a brand manager or a product manager to really simply go, okay, this is the product, we're offering a percentage discount, the percentage is 25, and we're doing it in the Irish market. And then be able to submit that to a central database and then actually maybe merge that with sales data to see the effect of the discount on sales or anything like that. Another use case that we've done is uploading data to a data lake. So in the case where a business is sort of curating a data set or a table of data and then want to upload it to a data lake, but obviously you don't want to just give people without any experience of development access to your cloud platform. What you want instead is to give them the ability to, say, use PowerApps, upload their file, upload it to a data lake, and then notify someone who will actually provide analysis on top of that data within the data lake as well. So basically trying to automate that process without giving access where someone can potentially delete something in your cloud data storage or anything like that. So hopefully that's given you a bit of flavor of what PowerApps is, how it can be used with one specific demo example, and then how it can be used elsewhere. How can Thorogood help you get started with it? So yes, you can get started yourself. There's a free trial on offer for PowerApps, but what I would say is reach out to me or any of my Thorogood colleagues, because we can help discuss feasibility. We can tell you if something's going to work right away. We can help you identify use cases. We can share use cases from elsewhere, or we can understand your business and suggest where PowerApps could help. We can create demos to help you prove value for like budget approval from a supervisor or anything like that. And we can help you sign up for one of our free Power App in a Day workshops. We have one coming up in the UK, which I'll touch on. Otherwise, get in touch with me, robbie.shaw@thorogood.com. If you want to hear when the next one might be in your region, I can get back to you on that. And with that, thank you. Any questions, do please send them to robbie.shaw@thorogood.com. And other than that, have a great day.